wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
Introducing the Smart Kicker from iConnect, the most affordable smartphone on the market. With a follow focus capable 2-megapixel camera, you can't miss out on any of the action. Over 400 hours of standby battery time and 32 gig external memory. That's more than enough space for all your series, music, pics, apps and games. Get yours today from iConnect for a limited offer of only 499 kwacha, including 300 MB iSpot internet from iConnect. The Smart Kicker, available at iConnect. iConnect, make it happen.
Want to just get out of town with your friends and family? Are you having a corporate getaway and have no adequate transport? Then this here is what you need to listen to. A brand new 35-seater Yutong luxury bus is now up for hire at an affordable and negotiable rate. It comes fully equipped with aircon, TV for your relaxation, music soothing your trip, and DVD players to give you variety. Book now by calling 0955 0966 or 977 844 141.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Jungle. A very warm welcome to our main news broadcast presented. My name is Mubanga Chimamba. First, a look at stories making headlines. Tribunal to probe suspended DPP Mtembo Nchitwo sworn in. NGO calls for resignation of Christopher Yaluma for failure to manage energy sector. The entire FDD executive on the Copper Belt defect to the opposition UPND. In international news, Venezuela's Maduro to govern by decree. These plus many more stories coming right up. Stay tuned.
And now the main news in detail. The tribunal appointed by President Edgar Lungu to probe suspended Director of Public Prosecutions Mutembo Nchito of professional misconduct has been sworn in. Speaking when she swore in 4 members of the tribunal, Chief Justice Irene Mambilima says the office of the DPP has generated public interest and the 4 have a huge task to deal with all matters. Justice Mambilima says she is confident that members of the tribunal will discharge their duties in a fair and impartial manner. She says the tribunal instituted to investigate Mr. Nchito's case has the best and experienced legal brains that have served in the highest level of the judiciary. Justice Mambilima notes that the nation has seen the constitutional office of the DPP come under intense debate, where citizens have gone to court to indict the DPP on various issues.
Ahead of these 4 heads is a gigantic, contentious and sensitive political task. The duty is to probe the suspended Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, Mutembo Nchito, for alleged misconduct. Upon completion of the task that awaits this team, the tribunal will recommend to President Edgar Lungu whether the DPP ought to be removed or not from office based on the allegations. Speaking when she saw in the 4-man-led team, Chief Justice Irene Mambilima believes the men are equal to the task.
Thus I can say there's been a lot of public interest and debate on the holder of this office. The events leading to the establishment of this tribunal are in the public domain. That is, the constitution of the tribunal was done in accordance with Article 58 of the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia by His Excellency the President. Today, I've had the honor and the privilege to swear in the distinguished members of this tribunal. It comprises 3 former Chief Justices.
Those sworn in are former Chief Justices Aniu Silungwe, Matthew Ngulube, Enes Sakala and Registrar of the High Court Matthew Zolo. The tribunal will be chaired by Justice Silungwe. The conclusion of this matter will certainly bring out more of what forces are in this issue and who will feel the heat at the end of it. For Prime TV News, Daniel Tonga, Lusaka.
Meanwhile, the United Party for National Development UPND President Hakainde Hichilema has condemned President Edgar Lungu for setting up the tribunal, charging that suspended DPP Mutembo Nchito is being ill-treated. Mr. Hichilema says Mr. Lungu should not hide that he is not involved in Mr. Nchito's issues because he is the one behind everything that is happening to Mr. Nchito. He says there's need to ensure that Mr. Nchito is treated fairly during the same process of probing him. Mr. Hichilema says Mr. Lungu is responsible for every issue concerning the probing of Mr. Nchito. He adds that it is not fair for Mr. Lungu to deny that he has a hand in the issue when it is him that appointed the tribunal to probe the DPP.
The DPP is a constitutional office. The PF are aware. Lungu was claiming that he was not aware of what was happening and he had nothing to do with the DPP's issue. What expression did you use? Ifikulu Tafyalulwa. President Lungu was hiding that he had nothing to do with Mutembo's issue. Within a short while, he was appointing a tribunal. When he couldn't get Mutembo out through the maneuvers of surrogates, the surrogates he was using to hound the DPP out of office, he couldn't be patient. If he could look, it was Edgar Lungu who has from day one been behind the efforts to remove Mutembo Nchito.
Government has charged that hard work within the COMESA region can help African countries to start producing finished products. Commerce, Trade and Industry Permanent Secretary Siakazonga Siakalenga says there is need for concerted efforts to ensure African countries become producers of finished products. Mr. Siakalenga says government has designed industrialization as a strategy aimed at moving away from producing primary products to producing finished products. He says there is need for Zambia and other countries to learn from Ethiopia, which has managed to attract investment in the textile and clothing sector. The permanent secretary said this when he officiated at the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa COMESA meeting of the Committee on Industry. Lack of decent jobs is now making many youths in the country become creative entrepreneurs. The scenario has also made some youths to come up with business ideas seeking to empower themselves. And a Lusaka-based youth Gift Mazamba trading in the streets says there is need for youths to learn and come up with ways to earn a better life. Mr. Mazamba, who trades along Lumumba Road selling television aerials, has advised fellow youths to come up with ideas to support themselves than waiting upon government to create jobs for them. Gwen Wheeler now brings us more in the following report.
Just a week ago, youths from across the country celebrated the Youth Day on the 12th of March 2015. And during the celebrations, Acting President Ngosa Simbyakula, who spoke on behalf of the President, urged youths in the country not to always wait upon government to create jobs for them, but to be innovative.
My government will continue to put in place mechanisms that will ensure that projects are spread throughout the country so as to ensure that opportunities and wealth being created by these initiatives not just available to the urban youth, but also accessible to the youth in rural areas. This agenda is important for us because we are a government that believes in a better Zambia for all through empowerment.
And the acting president words, Dean Fofa, as this youth in Lusaka who trades along Lumumba Road has taken up the initiative of making aerials for TV sets from the empty bottles of lotions that have been used. And while others are calling on government to create jobs, this youth has also taken it upon himself to empower himself and others. With more youths coming up with such innovatives and ideas, with the support of government, Zambia can too attain its economic status on the international market. Gwen Wheeler reporting for Prime TV News in Lusaka.
The Zambia Medical Association, ZAM, says it will within the next few weeks be calling on the Minister of Justice, Dr. Ngosa Simbyakula, to submit the organization's proposed structure for the Office of the Physician General. This follows President Edgar Lungu's call to establish the Office of the Physician General at State House to oversee the health of the office bearer. Association President Aaron Mujajiti has expressed hope that members of Parliament will support the bill once it comes up for debate in the legislative chamber. Dr. Mujajiti has commended President Lungu for being transparent with his health. During the late President Michael Sata's tenure, ZAM called on State House to be transparent on the President's health. This is according to a statement released to Prime Television on Monday by the Zambia Medical Association ZAM President Aaron Mujajiti. MultiChoice Zambia has clarified on its decision to increase its subscription fee. MultiChoice Zambia General Manager Simon Bolter has explained that the company's decision to increase its subscription has been necessitated by the increase in the operational costs, such as satellite costs, channel costs, as well as the depreciation of the kwacha against the US dollar. Speaking at a media briefing, Mr. Bolter explained that it is justifiable for the company to increase its fees, taking into account that content rights have also gone up. Mr. Bolter further says the company is not forcing anyone to subscribe to MultiChoice, as they have the right to subscribe to other pay television channels. He also refuted reports that the company has increased its premium bouquet from 550 kwacha to 710 kwacha, stating that the increase is from 550 kwacha to 631 kwacha.
The DSTV, a pay TV service, is a personal, individual choice to subscribe for pay TV and for the kind of service that you're looking for. What I've tried to do is to explain, to put information in the public domain that is not readily available. But I've gathered it and I've put it in the public domain to enable the subscribers to make an informed decision. So, are we the most expensive in the region? I've given you the figures, we are not. Is the premium subscription going up from 521 to 710? It isn't. Are we billing in foreign currency? We are not. Okay? We're billing in local currency.
You're watching Prime Television's main news broadcast. Just now we take our first break, and when we come back, the entire Forum for Democracy and Development executive on the Copperbelt defects to the opposition UPND, plus many more stories. Stay tuned.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in our newsrooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.
What's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
We continue with the rest of the news. The entire Forum for Democracy and Development FDD executive on the Copperbelt have defected to the opposition UPND. Announcing their defection at the UPND Secretariat on Monday, the officials say they have decided to defect to the UPND because it is the only promising party to deliver the country from economic hardships. The officials, who were led by Ndola Central FDD chairperson Bernard Mubanga, pledged to work hard for the party and steer it to victory in 2016. Other officials who announced their defection include FDD Luanshya District Chairperson Andrew Kazenze, his counterpart for information and publicity in Ndola, Bernard Mumba, and Ndola Central Secretary Charles Mumba. But when contacted for a comment on the defectors, FDD spokesperson Antonio Mwanza says the members are not FDD officials but individual members.
Only UPND will make the next government, and we know it, that the next government is there. And outright, Mr. President and the national chairperson and all the leaders, we are making a pledge, and a very strong pledge. We want to live here. When we live here, direct us where to go. We want to go in Masaiti and camp there and get that seat. For us, it's not about positions. For us, it's about working for this mother Zambia and see Zambia have leaders that will deliver.
Number one. To be specific, gentlemen, ladies and women, the talkative tribe. Thank you.
God has provided with quality leadership, but we take these things, elections, as a job. Let's begin to be serious, then God will bless this country.
Arise Now Zambia, a non-governmental organization, has called for the resignation of Energy and Mines Minister Christopher Yaluma for his failure to manage the energy sector. Organization Director Robert Mwale says Mr. Yaluma has failed to manage the sector, as evidenced by the 9 days the country has gone without fuel. He says there's no need for President Lungu to maintain non-performing ministers like Mr. Yaluma, who even under late President Michael Sata failed to revamp the energy sector. He has called on President Lungu to deal with non-performing ministers as pay his promise following his election in 2015. The fuel shortage in Lusaka has entered its 9th day, while in Livingstone and the Copperbelt the shortage has entered its 3rd and 4th day respectively.
Quoting the words which the president of this country, Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, mentioned on the time he was swearing in this minister, I said, I will not hesitate to deal with any non-performing ministers. And for us, we believe that Mr. Christopher Yaluma, who is the energy minister, he has proven to the country that he is a non-performing minister, and hence we are calling for his resignation, or if not, the president should immediately fire Mr. Yaluma for failing to manage the ministry. Energy being the drivers of the economy, we can see all sorts of concern, all this confusion within one ministry. We've seen the load shedding, which is now being increased in from the CESCO department, and we cannot accept as Zambians to be paying non-performing ministers doing nothing, still drinking coffee in their offices, whilst Zambian people are struggling. The economy is continuing being destroyed by such kind of ministers. And
Finnish ambassador to Zambia, Timo Olkkonen, says Africa has the potential for strong economic growth through closer regional cooperation and integration. Mr. Olkkonen says Africa's economies are growing but could grow faster if certain policies are put in place. Mr. Olkkonen was speaking in Lusaka when he presented his letter of appointment as representative of Finland to the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA. He says Finland is a firm believer that the spectacular economic growth seen in many African countries will continue, adding that Finland will provide opportunities for trade.
Africa too has a potential for strong economic growth through closer regional cooperation and integration. Since inter-African trade, be it within regions or across the continent, still remains small in comparison to overall trade figures. Africa's economies are growing, but they could be growing even faster. Finland is supporting a regional project to enhance trade capacity through modernization of customs together with the World Customs Organization, in a total of 22 countries in Eastern and Southern Africa. At a more local level, the Embassy of Finland here in Lusaka is supporting the development of private sector in Zambia.
Meanwhile, COMESA Secretary General Mr. Sindiso Ngwenya has applauded the Finnish government's commitment to meet objectives for development funding. Mr. Ngwenya has expressed confidence in the position and mandate within the donor community to contribute towards promoting cooperation between Finland and COMESA. He has assured Mr. Okunen of total support from the COMESA region to Finland.
So we are happy that you have now joined us, and I congratulate you on your appointment, and simply say that I wish to assure you that we shall work with you to achieve our common objectives. With regard to COMESA Finland cooperation, let me say that we cannot do it without the private sector involvement, because at the end of the day, governments can create the enabling environment, improve the ease of doing business, reduce the cost of doing business, etc. But the people who create the jobs, who risk their capital, is the private sector. And we are happy that we have those programs that we have.
Just now we go for another break, but still to come is some international news. Stay tuned.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Potato chips. We know you'll love them.
And in some international news, the Venezuelan parliament has approved the law giving President Nicolas Maduro the power to legislate by decree for 9 months in the face of what the president described as threats by the U.S. government. The anti-imperialist law will be in effect from the time it is published in the Venezuela's official gazette until December the 31st. Maduro requested the expanded powers in response to new U.S. sanctions on Venezuelan officials accused of human rights violations. On Saturday, nearly 100,000 members of the armed forces began military exercises across the South American country. Thousands of people rallied in solidarity with the president as a 10-day military drill kicked off. Washington slapped 7 Venezuelan officials with sanctions as U.S. President Barack Obama signed an executive order calling Caracas a security threat. Sierra Leone's ruling party has denied that the vice president's life is in danger after he sought asylum from the United States, citing concerns for his personal safety. The All People's Congress said in a statement broadcast on state media that it had been informed of Samuel Samsumana's asylum request. The party also denied reports that Samsumana's residence had been vandalized. Samsumana, who entered voluntary Ebola quarantine after one of his security personnel died of the disease last month, is in hiding and his whereabouts are unknown. Just now, a roundup of some more international news.
Previously insisted that Assad had to go before any deal could be made, but now Mr. Kerry says the international community is exploring ways to put pressure on Assad to agree to peace talks. Aid agencies are hoping to gain access to Vanuatu's outer islands, where Cyclone Pam is believed to have caused the worst destruction. Vanuatu's president says 90% of the buildings in the capital Port Vila have been damaged or destroyed.
Very emotional, very emotional. As head of the nation, my heart is for the people. And I think everyone has that same feeling. Because we don't know what happened to our family. There's a breakdown of communications that we cannot reach our families. And we do not know whether our families are safe or not. And as a leader of the nation, my whole heart is for the whole people of the nation.
Hundreds of thousands of protesters have marched in cities across Brazil. Many called for the impeachment of President Dilma Rousseff. She's facing growing anger over a stalling economy, budget cuts, and a deepening scandal at the state oil company. Fighters loyal to ISIL have claimed responsibility for an attack in the Libyan capital of Tripoli on Sunday. 5 policemen were injured when explosives were detonated at a checkpoint next to a security building. It follows a similar attack on a police station in the western city of Misrata. The Haitian government has announced it'll hold elections after years of delay. Presidential and local polls will be held in late October. President Michel Martelly was left in charge when the mandate of the parliament expired in January.
And that item ends our news broadcast. But as we go look at stories that made headlines once again. Tribunal to probe suspended DPP Mtembo Nchito sworn in. NGO calls for the resignation of Christopher Eluma for failure to manage the energy sector. The entire FDD executive on the Copperbelt defect to the opposition, UPND. And finally, in international headlines, Venezuela's Maduro to govern by decree. And that's all the news we had for you in behalf of the entire studio and news crew. My name is Mubanga Chimambo. Pleasant viewing.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. ZESCO, powering the nation.